Hello, and welcome to TechWatch, the EdTech video news program produced by eSchool News. I'm Laura Devaney. Inclusion, advocacy, and increased relevance are high on the agenda of Daniel A. Domenech, the former superintendent of Virginia's Fairfax County Public Schools, who takes over as executive director of the American Association of School Administrators on July 1st. Domenech sat down with eSchool News assistant editor Maris Stansberry last month to describe his plans for revitalizing the 143-year-old association.
AASA, the American Association of School Administrators, recently announced their new executive director, Daniel Domenech. I'm here today at their headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, to speak with Domenech about some of his new plans and initiatives he has in mind for AASA. So what were the main reasons that you decided to take this job, and how do you think it will differ from working in a private sector with McGraw-Hill or even a large school district?
Well, for me, it's a tremendous opportunity. I've been a member of AASA for 30 years. I was a superintendent of schools for 27 years, most recently here in Fairfax, Virginia for 7 years. And for the last 4 years, I had the opportunity to go to the other side, the private sector, and work with McGraw-Hill. So when Paul Houston, the current executive director, announced that he was retiring, it presented me with a great opportunity to work with an organization that I love. I've been part of for a long time. I'm a past president of this organization. I served on the board of this organization. And it's just very exciting times. We're having presidential elections, which means that we're going to have a new administration in D.C. and a new president in the White House. And what a great opportunity that is for an organization like ours. To be part of that process and to be involved and engaged in the development of an educational plan for the country. It's a challenge to generate the revenue that organizations like this need in order to produce the member services that the members expect. So my business experience with McGraw-Hill is very helpful there in terms of helping us to accomplish and achieve that. That's critical. But once we have the revenue and generate the revenue, then that's going to allow us to play the advocacy role that we intend to play. We want to be seen by the President, the Congress, the Office of Education as a valuable resource for them as they begin to set their policies and their rules and regulations. I mean, after all, we represent the leaders of American education. And we have a lot to offer. There's no doubt that we've seen over the last 5 years tremendous emphasis being placed on leadership. When you have groups like Broad and groups like the Wallace Foundation and Microsoft, the Gates Foundation, spending millions of dollars on education and specifically the training of educational leaders, you know that we've come of age. We know that people are finally recognizing that, hey, having a top-notch leader can make a significant difference. So that's obviously important, and we are the organization that represents these leaders, and so we need to play a key role in that process, in working with the foundations, in working with the schools of education that prepare our leaders, and providing specific training for our leaders. It's a tough job. I can talk from experience, being a superintendent of schools for 27 years. It's a very tough job, and it's not about just being a manager, and it's not about just being a great instructional leader. It's also about being a savvy politician. It's also about being a great communicator. It's also about being able to bring coalitions together and advocate for the kinds of things that you need to have done in order to succeed. Most of us, including myself, I was a classroom teacher, and I, went up the ranks. I really didn't have any training in management. I didn't have an MBA. I didn't have training in personnel or any of these other areas that are so critical to basically being a CEO of a major enterprise. And so a lot of our superintendents are still following that path. And they need the kind of training that's going to help them succeed, and we hope to play a part in providing them with that, those skills.
So you were saying that you were a 6th grade teacher in Queens, but also you were a leader of a large school district like FCPS. How do you plan to make sure that those smaller school districts and urban and rural school districts are all incorporated into AASA?
Well, that is exactly on target. You know, one of the things that we can't be is an organization one size fits all. Right. It doesn't work that way, and you know, you just made that point. We have superintendents of school systems that maybe have 20, 30 kids in them. Right. I know about it because when I was a county superintendent on Long Island, New York, I had counties on the east end of Long Island where the superintendent had 40, 30 youngsters, and they were a superintendent. That's a very different job than being the superintendent of schools in Los Angeles, or Chicago, or New York City, or Miami-Dade. They're totally different job. I experienced that. I was first superintendent of a school district with about 7,000 kids, and you know, years later I was superintendent in Fairfax of 168,000. Two very different jobs. We have to recognize the differences in the job and provide the rural superintendent, the suburban superintendent, the large urban superintendent, the small district superintendent with the specific skills that they need for their job, and not say, you know, this program is for all. Well, some of programs may be appropriate for all, but we have to recognize the specific needs of our members and cater to those specific needs.
eSN TV, your #1 source for video news and information from North America's leading EdTech publications, from the world's foremost EdTech website, the eSchool News Network, America's EdTech authority. Watch eSN TV. Encounter the field's most fascinating personalities, the innovators who are turning the old school into the e-school. Watch eSN TV. Meet notable educators, advocates, and leaders. Watch eSN TV. Get real-time coverage of EdTech's most important gatherings. Stay up to the minute. Get the EdTech news and information you need to succeed. Watch eSchool News TV.